What was the neighborhood's reaction when it first came out that Keffe had done his proffer deal? Which I think first became public knowledge in like 2011 when Greg Kading put out his book Murder Rap. Do you remember what the
Yeah.
reaction to that was that Keffe had kind of blabbed, I guess?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people were disappointed. A lot of people felt like he let the streets down, and he implicated his nephew who's dead into something that he can't defend himself for. So a lot of people outside of my neighborhood, because at the time when he dropped that book, I was incarcerated. So I got to hear opinion and a lot of from everybody outside of the neighborhood and how they felt about that. But in the neighborhood, yeah, a lot of people wasn't feeling that. A lot of people stepped back because of that.
So a couple things from that. The fact that he implicated his nephew, what was specifically like? What would the reaction to that be from people that his own family?
Yeah, that was like, or I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out on the table. People felt like he snitched on him, like
Hmm.
he put the blame all on his nephew.
I mean, do you think about that in terms of that's his sister's son? That's she has to hear
Yeah,
that.
I'm pretty sure she, at the end of the day, I mean, who wouldn't feel some type of way? That's being her son and that being her brother. Then everything getting put on her son, and he's dead. You can't defend himself. At the end of the day, who wouldn't feel some type of way about that?
And what would have been, what was, I mean, because Keffe moved to Henderson out in Nevada. Was he kind of not welcome in Compton after that, do you think? Or what was the deal?
I mean, no, 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 no. Don't get me wrong. He was still like, he's still who he was. He was still welcome over there. It was just not like not everybody was feeling him. Some people still dealt with him. Some people still, like when he was accepted, it wasn't like every time he came over there, his life was in jeopardy. I mean, his life was struggling. It wasn't nothing like that. It was just some people fucked with him and some people didn't.
I have a police interview with Darnell Brim, who was the shot caller for the Glencoe crew back then. And he
Yeah.
he complained that Keffe was always talking. He says he talks like a girl. He talks like girls talk. And he said basically that, his crew causes problems and then they leave town and then it's Glencoe and everybody else that has to like deal with the fallout. I don't know if you ever got any sense of that or heard anything
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. See, around that time, yeah, I was like still like a kid around all of that time, but there was a situation to where it was my street versus Glencoe. It was not my, Burris Lane versus Glencoe. There was a war going on, and a lot of people were just killing everybody from Burris because of.
Right.
Yeah, that led to a lot of bloodshed too.
Yeah, it's like two crews in the same gang were like gang rivals.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's like they're in the same section, so it's like we're gonna see each other regardless. So it's like I'm pretty sure you can imagine how that went.
And someone pointed out, everybody knows where everybody lives and hangs out.
Yeah, Compton's not that big, so yeah.
What did you think then when Keffe went public? Like when he went on BET in 2018 and did an interview for a show on Death Row Records, um, and then started doing his YouTube interviews.
Yeah, personally, I think that he was taking for a fame that he probably didn't really want. You know what I'm saying? Because it led up to the situation he's in now. I
What?
think personally he should have just he kept his mouth closed. He had a chance to explain himself. He had a chance to put it out there, and I think the second time he should have just kept his mouth closed.
So getting back to what I asked you before, when Keffe went public on TV and then he put his book out, like did you see any of that stuff or did you ever read his book?
I didn't read his book. I read partial of it, but I did read the murder rap book with the title Keffe D. He had the whole chapter dedicated to him under Keffe D. And
Right.
then I watched the video on YouTube.
You saw like what one of Keffe's interviews?
Yeah, I seen. Well, actually, I didn't see. I caught a glimpse of it
Hmm.
because like how I found out about it was through that Vlad TV. I
Right.
guess Big U was talking about it, and that's how I found out about it. And I caught a little bit of it. I didn't watch the whole thing though.
Yeah, he did like 7, 8, 9, at least 9 interviews on YouTube. It's crazy.
Whoa. Yeah, I didn't know you did that many.